Welcome in, Iowa Hawkeye fans, to another episode of the Hawkeye Tailgate Report. I'm Luke Big Tex Myers. We got Space Cowboy, Joey Myers, and Austin Myers here as well. It's halftime of the Nebraska-Iowa game right now. Iowa's up 41-30. CJ Frederick splashed a huge three right before the half. Good bounce back for the Hawks. Fellas, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Luke. Thank you.
Maybe a tad intoxicated.
Yeah, a little bit. Beer darts did a number on me.
Yeah, so full disclosure, it was... I don't know whose stupid idea it was, but we sat outside.
Okay, do not act like it was a dumb idea.
It was a stupid idea, and Space Cowboy and Jake ran with it.
Yes, but so we were playing beer darts out in the yard in 28-degree weather and Carhartts and all.
Dream a dream.
Yeah, well, we were just living, you know. We can't wait for that 50-degree weather when we can really get out there and get at it, you know.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of kids in Africa who think the Niners won the Super Bowl. So I bet they wish they were playing beer darts in Iowa City instead.
That's for them.
Yeah.
We'll pour one out for them.
We did it for them.
Pour and Thew.
And Thew.
Yeah, and Thew.
Thew.
R.I.P. Thew. But no, Hawkeyes lead 11.5. It's been about, 2 weeks since we recorded last time?
More.
More?
It's probably pretty close to 2. About 2.
Yeah, no, but
2.75.
it's been a roller coaster. So we'll start with basketball right now. So Iowa got absolutely Iowa took care.
Drubbing, Luke.
Well, no, let's talk about Illinois first.
Okay.
Because that is
Positive note.
an impressive win at home.
That's who we are. We're
Yeah.
going to do that to... Well, here's my thing. Life in the Big Ten is that the refs are going to help you...
Danny!
The refs are going to help you out at home. That's just a fact. I mean, look at the home records. Now, I'm not saying that's why we won. That's not why we beat Illinois at home. But, I don't know. Look at it. I don't know.
It was a great game because it was like, from what I've been told, I was not alive in the 80s, but apparently back in the 80s, the Iowa-Illinois matchups were like tough, intense, physical games like this past one was. And this
a lot of
game,
recruiting battles, too.
sure,
guys.
yeah, but this game had all the feels of like, both teams were throwing everything that they had at each other to win this game. It was very physical, very emotional, came down towards the end, and Iowa won. And then there was, some extracurriculars after the game that were awesome. And that was it was the type of game that I feel like in the past you don't see Iowa winning, and they came back with the W this time, and it was just a great Big Ten basketball game, and it was fun to watch.
For some reason, I just really hate Illinois in basketball. It's probably because the guy I lived with in college, huge Illinois guy.
Shout out John Schrader.
Shout out John Schrader. But, no, he's a big Illinois guy, and I can't knock his fandom because I'm equally as big for Iowa. But he kept saying for the last year and a half, oh, Illinois is back, as soon as they got Brad Underwood there in Champaign.
Or maybe it's because Brad Underwood is a chotch.
Yeah, he's a prick.
Well, I don't know if he's a prick, but it was great to see Garza hit the big three late. But I don't know. And the handshake line after.
Well, here's the thing. Illinois hasn't been relevant since fucking D. Brown?
Yeah.
Well,
Darren
no,
Williams,
well, they
Brown.
made
Brown,
the
Darren Williams. Okay, relevant.
Outside of,
Making
like,
the
women's
tournament-
field hockey.
Making the tournament
I
does
was
not make
actually
you
very
relevant
good
by
at
any
that.
They are
stretch of
good.
the
They have a good
imagination.
field hockey team.
Okay, three guys can't talk at once there.
Watch us.
They upset Indiana when they were number one back in like 2011, 2012 or whatever. You remember that layup at the buzzer?
Nope.
Okay.
Who?
but
You're talking about Illinois?
yeah, but no.
They have a basketball team?
They haven't been serious. Hey, we can't really talk crap because they've
We
made
beat
it.
'em.
Well, they beat it. They made it to the Final Four more recently than us.
So, pass is the pass, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check out their football.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I'm living in the future, or the present, not the future.
I live in the future.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Space Cowboy. Yeah, live for the future.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But let's just take a look at, I don't know if the record is better or worse than ours, but I know that in terms of rankings and net, we're higher than them, so we're better than Illinois. I'm just going to say it.
I'm one of those guys where you look at rankings, and if you're better, I expose it, and if you're worse, I don't talk about it.
Yes.
Okay, here's the thing. We're probably going to lose to Illinois in Champaign.
No, we're not.
No, we're
No,
not.
we're not.
No, we're not.
Kofi Cockburn is a fraud.
Okay,
And so
I
okay,
appreciate
yes,
you
yes.
saying Cockburn.
Yes,
It is
why-
Cockburn. It's not Coburn.
It is spelled
Cockburn.
Cockburn. That is
Penis hot
Cockburn.
Penis hot.
A hot penis.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Chlamydia.
Cockburn.
That's
what he
No,
was.
but
not
he
Coburn.
was big,
Are
but
you
he
guys-
was a hot penis player. He was not even that good. He's a hot penis.
He's a
6
freshman.
points.
His name means chlamydia.
But he's also like 26.
But he's only been playing basketball for like 4 years.
I don't care.
Oh,
That's his own
Embiid's
fault.
been playing for less than 10 years. Look at him.
If you're 6'11" and you wait to play basketball until you're like 16, that's your own damn fault.
Yeah, if you're 7 foot and 270, you're gonna be good at basketball. That's a
I don't
fucking
think
fact.
he's 270.
Yeah, they were over amplifying that.
Either
But
way,
you guys don't think there's a chance we lose in Champaign?
Fuck
Like the
no.
way the life
sorry.
on the Big Ten,
Absolutely not.
the way life in the Big Ten on the
Unless-
road has been this year.
No, I'm not
With
scared.
the refs and whatnot. Unless, bear with me here, Bashanishvili goes off, we're not losing. Is that how you say that?
Sure.
Their guard?
Bashani
Is that their guard?
No, it's the big
He's a-
Ukrainian
he's a-
asshole.
Yeah. Bashanishvili?
Hey, a wise man once said, this wise man's name was Ice Cube, if you're scared, go to church.
So you guys don't give it any chance at all.
Zero.
That
No.
they beat us.
Absolute win.
I will say the Orange Crush is a hell of a student section, though.
It
I've been
is.
there.
Yeah.
It is something Iowa should strive
Stin
for.
will punch himself in the testicles as hard as he can if we lose in Champaign.
that's a lie. That's not true.
You heard it right
do
yeah,
it
here.
right
for him,
there.
actually.
Nope.
No,
The
but
truth.
I will say though that
Are we doing chaw
having
dogs
been
during
to
this podcast?
Illinois' basketball stadium, is it the State Farm Arena or Center or some
State
shit
Farm
like that?
Insurance Center, yeah.
It's a nice place.
It's a lot nicer than Carver in terms of like how it's set up for basketball. It's
tighter.
It's a better basketball environment than
better.
what Carver is.
We should use the women's arena starting next year. Just pack it.
It's a simple.
8,000 fans.
Just make it loud.
Isn't that just for like volleyball and like ice hockey?
Yeah, no, they have it. They have it open
Wait,
for the
where's
women's.
Ross? We could probably have him hook it up for us.
He is back in Dubuque County.
Well, Ross knows how to hook up the...
I love you, Ross. I miss you. I'm
No.
gonna sleep in your bed tonight.
So Iowa gets the big win there. Another top 25 win. Another quad
I won't
win.
really.
Quad 1 win for the Hawks.
A 7 or 8?
What?
7.
Six.
No, Cincinnati jumped back up.
7. I don't know. It's one of the two.
Cincinnati is leading the American Conference, the prestigious American Conference.
Okay,
Big
you say
time.
that like it's a joke, but the American,
I know
like-
they're pretty good. Wichita State, they were in the Missouri Valley. like, what, like 3
Wichita
years ago?
State,
Wichita State
UConn.
moved to the American?
Yeah, like 3
Yeah.
years ago.
Wow, Austin. Glad
Sorry.
you started watching college
Hey,
basketball
also we
yesterday.
won World War II. In case you missed that one.
Yeah, believe me, I know. Back-to-back World War champs. Let's go.
Coronavirus.
No, but then we follow that pretty big win up at home against Illinois, and then drop an absolute stinker to Purdue.
Hey.
Wah, wah.
To lighten the mood before the Purdue game. Austin, you should tell that joke you told me earlier today.
Oh, okay.
The one about the black guy and
No,
the
no.
Mexican guy.
No, not that one.
No, okay. What do you call a pirate that pees on people?
What's that, Stan?
Boilermaker.
Arg Kelly.
That's pretty good.
That'll never get old, probably.
If I ever have kids, that's gonna be their Halloween one.
I got one too. This has been my favorite joke for a few years now.
Oh boy.
See if I can get it without twisting my own tongue. What is the difference between a dirty bus stop and a lobster with breast implants?
I know the
Don't
answer.
answer it.
I know the answer, but I'll let you say it.
I give up.
One's a crusty bus station, and the other one's a busty crustacean.
I like that. You want to hear my favorite joke my dad told me for Halloween when I was like 6?
Yeah.
Is it clean?
No.
Enough.
He was 6.
What's green and smells like pork? Kermit the Frog's fingers. I did not get candied.
All right, now to get heavy here for a second. So the Purdue game. There was one time in my lifetime I can remember not going to Mackey Arena and having some like them just shoot absolutely insane.
The comeback?
Yeah, where we were down by
Yeah.
17
it was
in
like the Mike
2016.
Gazelle, Adam Woodbury senior season when we were down 20 in the first half and
They
came
would
back
have never
and
gotten
won.
down that far if Trey Dickerson was playing.
That's true. Trey,
Don't get Joey on the fucking tangent.
Hey,
I'm a big Trey Dickerson guy.
Dickerson was a stud.
Trey, I hope you're listening.
Let's
to this.
let's
Love you,
talk
Trey.
about this game first, and then we'll get into that.
Okay.
Okay, so Purdue shot what 19 of 34 from 3.
It was something stupid like that.
Yes.
6 or 7 guys scored over their season average.
Okay, so that's what happens every time we go to Mackey. Like before that, it was Dakota Mathias for like 4 straight
I
years.
fucking hated that guy,
He-
for the
Drop
record.
the F word, man.
Yeah, what the? This
Yeah.
is a kid-friendly
Well-
Family-friendly podcast.
We're listed as explicit on the store.
Doesn't mean we have to be.
But no,
I'm not going to change who I am.
they absolutely
Thank
just shot lights out, and good on them for shooting amazing. But we also played horrible defense that game.
I'll say it. This is the first game all year where I think Fran could have done better.
Yeah, no adjustments.
Yeah,
And
so-
pull the starters when you're down 30 with 10 minutes left.
It
Just
wasn't.
pull 'em.
It wasn't even that Fran didn't make adjustments, which it was part of it. But so one of my biggest gripes about Fran is that he doesn't use his timeouts to stop runs until it's like 5 or 6 points too late. They went on a 17-0 run, and Fran only took a timeout when they were up like 15. When they go on like, especially on the road. We got the first layup of the game, but then they went on like a 10-0 run.
17-0.
Yeah, well, I know, but so like at the 10-0 point when it was like 10-2, that's when you need to take the timeout. You need to refocus the guy, say, hey, we need to buckle down or something. And Fran just kind of lets it go and lets it go and lets it go. And then before we knew it, we were down 20 points and we could never recover
I'm
from
pretty
that.
sure it was 40-4 at one point.
I don't think it was quite that
No,
bad.
it was
No.
17-4
Yeah.
at one point.
I know at one point they had 7 missed shots and 6 offensive rebounds. Purdue did.
On one
So-
possession.
Yeah.
But I can't believe that's your
Board-
biggest gripe with Iowa.
All right, so
But-
and you're the Mac Daddy here, Luke. Do we have to keep analyzing this game, or can we move on to our gripe?
We absolutely
I
have to
like,
keep
I have like
analyzing
2
it.
There's
more
not much
points
to
that I want
analyze.
to make.
We got
on
There
this.
is.
Austin Ash should have had 10 points. He should have been in.
10 minutes probably, too.
Yeah, and what do you have, like 4, 3?
I have,
Six.
I have 2 more points.
We
that I
lost
wanna
service.
make on
We
this
stopped
game.
watching it with like
If
5
Anybody
minutes.
else wants to talk about it quick before me?
Okay, go ahead, Austin. Whatever.
Okay, point number 1. I know that Iowa has traditionally never been a very good defensive team, and I get it because Fran is an offensive coach. That's who he is. And I get it. But especially in this game, and we've seen it in years past, that defensive effort was just so terrible because at the end of the day, most of defense comes down to effort, and we just did not give it. And I understand that Purdue shot lights out from 3 and from the floor, but it was also partly Iowa did not close out on 3-point shooters. We did not try to rebound, so that was disappointing to me. It was just our defense effort was absolutely not there for that game.
No,
and
not
point,
at all.
And point number 2 that I want to make. You can chalk it up to winning on the road in the Big Ten this season is one of the most difficult things that you can do in college basketball. So a loss on the road is not the worst thing in the world. But also, if Iowa wants to compete for a Big Ten championship or at least get a double bye in the Big Ten tournament, you're going to have to win games on the road in the Big Ten. And Purdue is a very middle-of-the-pack team in the Big Ten this year. And to have that type of showing in a game...
Finally!
Just a heads up.
I love when he's not being a pussy.
The second half is back underway here, and Wheezy just hammered one down. Okay,
You
awesome.
all saw
But
it.
anyway,
His jump step is amazing.
So, like, that was a game that you should win, or at least try, like, be competitive in to win on the road in the Big Ten this year. And it was just such a poor showing because if you want to get the double bye or win the Big Ten, that's a Big Ten road game that you at least need to be competitive in, and they did not show up at all. So that part disappointed me.
I'd like to comment on that because that is my biggest gripe with Fran. His defense over the first 5-6 years was horrible. Like, the way he coached defense. And this year it's been pretty good. I think we can all agree with that, right?
I mean,
Yeah,
they're,
yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, they're what?
in the Ken Pom rankings, we're still like 87.
Yeah,
in
but
total
compared to what
defense.
it's been in the past, like, we have not been a good defensive team over the years. But in that Purdue game, it was the same thing. We overcommitted on double teams when there was ball screens up top. And, like, we did stupid stuff like that. And that would just leave people wide open on the wings and corners for three-pointers. And that, like, if we can limit those, we would be such a better basketball team all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's, like, my biggest thing with Fran is.
I have 3 McCaffrey vents here, okay? First, yes, the timeout. I agree completely. Fran does not use them. Number 2 is that Connor has a big body. He's a good dribbler. He's a good passer. But he gets down top of the key, and he never goes to the hoop. He's 6'5", 6'6". What is he, 210 pounds? He's a big guy.
I doubt he's 210.
I don't think
know
he's
the stats.
6'5",
Oh, but
either.
he's a big guy.
No,
he
is.
never takes the ball to the hoop as a lefty. It's hard to defend
There
a
we go.
left-handed
Give it
guy.
to-
It really is.
Oh, baby! A great alley-oop
is going
layup right
off.
there. All right,
Anyways.
48-42. Or 48-32.
I
was
like
on a
that
7-0
Connor's
run.
hitting down threes, but he does not take the ball to the hoop ever. There's no reason for a left-handed guy who can dribble and has good footwork to not do that. My third is that Margaret needs to get on their asses. I'm blaming her the most for all of this because Margaret is the king of the household. She needs to get those
Queen.
guys. She's a king.
She's the Duchess.
She's a king with a capital K. She needs to get those guys. She needs to get her shit together because she's probably the best athlete in the whole household.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the young one?
Oh, there's another one, isn't there?
Oh, God. I worked at North Liberty. Ashley
Something with a
knows.
G.
No.
Gwen.
When Fran was playing high school
Garrett?
ball or in college ball
It's a
out in
girl.
Philadelphia, didn't they call him like
It's a
White
boy, isn't
Magic
it?
or something like that, or like White
Jack.
Lightning?
Jack. Oh,
Anybody?
GJ.
Hold on. Wait a second.
Well, I'm
it's
not
Jack.
listening.
What were you saying, Austin?
I said when Fran was playing college ball out in Philadelphia, didn't they call him like White Magic or something like that?
Heck, I could see it.
I'm pretty sure they did. Like that's
It's
what
kind of
his
racist. I
nickname
don't
was.
know if I like that.
Just magic, how about?
Yeah, how about just magic?
That was already taken.
Yeah,
Magic
true.
was taken.
Magic, just Magic was already taken.
But there was no adjective in front of magic.
Yeah, because he was just Magic.
All right. Austin, what were you saying?
Irrelevant.
I already said what I was saying
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just stopped listening.
about. That's.
He's got one of those voices where you just kind of do that.
You know what? Fuck you, Space Cowboy.
Whoa!
The F word again, 2 in 1 segment.
I blame Paul and Barb, personally.
He makes him.
But Paul, I still love you. I'm sure you're listening.
I do not apologize for my language. This is an explicit podcast, and I'm going to speak how I want to speak.
That's
Anyway,
good.
that Purdue game, it's tough on the road in the Big Ten. No, probably about 1/28 of you saw my tweet the other day.
That's
what was
high.
it?
That's
What was
high.
it like? Yeah, well, probably less
How many
than that.
followers you got?
Me?
Me?
Not him. Yeah.
1,300?
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big,
You're probably
big.
right. You're
But
probably
my
right.
tweet,
You're probably right
no,
with
my
that.
tweet. I was
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
my tweet.
Yeah,
Even
but
less
your
probably saw
average,
that.
your ratio is probably pretty good.
But anyway, 1/28 maybe. Probably saw my tweet about how there's like 10 teams in
Whoa,
the Big Ten that
that's
have
terrible
between 0
call.
and 2 losses at home.
Mm-hmm.
Life on the road in the Big Ten is not easy. So was I shocked that we lost that game? No. But should we have put up a better fight? Yes.
Yes, we were underdogs. We were, what, 4.5-point
3.5.
dogs? 3.5?
Yeah.
You know what's even harder than life in the Big Ten on the road? Is life in Iowa State on the road, who has not won a road game yet. I just want to point that out.
We're not here to do that.
Yeah, but I do love to just dig
What do you
on
mean
those
we're not
guys.
here to
The
bash
only-
on state?
The only reason Space Cowboy's saying that is because we have a guy here, not on the podcast, but he's listening right now.
One
He's
J-Bomb.
in the room with us.
J-Bomb, getting married soon.
Jacob, my homie. But
Best man in the wedding,
no, but
Austin Myers.
we were dogs. I tweeted before the game. I said, or earlier in the day, I said, we're probably gonna lose tonight.
I did not think so.
I absolutely did. However, I was super disappointed with the performance. But you shake this team. Clearly, watching this Nebraska game right now, you shake it off and you bounce back. What did we get out to? A 25-9 lead in this game?
Yeah, we're not going to lose this game. We're not going to lose this game. It felt like we wouldn't lose the Illinois game either, given even how close it was. It didn't feel like we were ever going to lose that.
No, there's been a lot of games that
What,
kind of felt
what
like
one
that.
was before that? Maryland? It felt like we were not going to win that game the entire time.
I just
Yeah.
feel like any road game that we play from now out, because we've already played at Nebraska, we've already played at Northwestern. Those are like, and we lost one of those gimme road games. Winning on the road in the
gimme
Big
road
Ten
games.
is
I don't count
almost
that.
impossible.
We didn't have. We had like 4 scholarship players.
I don't. I'm not like degrading the loss, even though it was our worst loss of the season. But like winning on the road in the Big Ten is one of the most difficult things in college basketball this year. And the 2 worst teams in the league, we've already played on the road. So moving forward, like every game from now on is going to be a battle. And I understand that it's difficult to win on the road, but we're going to have to win at least 2 road games moving forward if we want to challenge for a Big Ten title, this like regular season title this year.
and I think we will.
Yeah.
And okay, so I know we have to win road games in the Big Ten. Like, I agree with you 100%. But I think the biggest test will be if we go to Indianapolis. We should get. Okay, we're gonna get a first round bye. The first round bye is the bottom 4 teams in the Big Ten.
A
We will get a first round bye.
Do you realize we're like a game and a half out of that right now?
Yes, but do you think we'll get it?
If we don't, that was sweet.
We'll get a first round bye.
If you jinx us, that's on you.
That's fine. There's a chance we can get a second round bye still. All right? So if we can do that and win 1 or 2 games in the Big Ten tournament, that means we get to the semifinals at least. Right? So if we can win 1 or 2 of those games, those are going to be good battle-tested games because we've performed very well on neutral site games this year. We beat Texas Tech, we beat Cincinnati, and we lost to a top 4 team in San Diego State. Like, there should be if we can beat those teams, those Big Ten teams in the neutral sites, I think we have a very fair chance moving forward.
Well, yeah, because those games will be home team pretty much because we travel.
Uh-huh.
Especially since it's in Indianapolis, too. Like, I had mentioned to you guys earlier today, I said, if Iowa made it to the weekend, the semifinals...
Oh, yeah, we're going.
When was the last time that Iowa made it to a Saturday of the Big Ten tournament?
2006.
Oh, my...
2006.
That's
the year we
awful.
won it. We beat Minnesota and Michigan State in the semifinals Big Ten championship, I
Think
believe.
about how your life has changed since 2006.
Speaking of the Big Ten
I
tournament,
was a virgin.
and not a great memory, but you guys remember the year in the Big Ten tournament when I think it was like 2013. We
I
lost.
blocked all those years off.
It was a Fran McCaffrey season. We lost to Michigan State, and it was like the worst reffing job of all time.
And if we would have won that, we would have made the NCAA tournament.
yeah, it was awful.
Was that the...
No, it was 2012. It was
it
Matt
the-
Gayton senior
it
year.
was something around there.
NIT, we lost to Oregon.
In the second round, I think.
It was absolute garbage.
I wish
though.
Gayton's could have came back for
I've
one more year. That would've
rewatched
been
like the
amazing.
highlights, or if you want to call them that, of like the reffing from that game, and it was so bad. After that, I've never seen like the conference never comes out and like says something about the reffing in a game, and they came out and like spoke to how bad like the officiating in that game was. That's how bad it was. I don't know. So that's one more knock that I can understand fans having about McCaffrey is that like when it comes to be tournament time, like specifically Big Ten tournament time, we have not shown up. And that's something that we need to do this year.
Iowa leads 54-36 right now with 14:50 left in the game.
To that comment, Luke. This game, Joe Wieskamp has been driving, and he's been finishing, and we need
There
that
he
out of
goes
Joe Wieskamp.
again.
Here he goes again. The prettiest move. He missed it. The prettiest move of the game. But he needs to do that more. His jump stop finish. I don't know how they can stop it because 91% of the time they don't.
Well, like the Purdue game, that's another thing I had from that game is Wieskamp was not nearly aggressive enough.
No.
Luka got his. Sure, that's going to happen. No big man in the Big Ten can contend with Luka Garza. But Joe Wieskamp has to be aggressive. Like if you put Joe Toussaint and Joe Wieskamp together, you easily have the best player in the country.
I mean, most teams, the teams that don't have 4 or 5 stars, they have a 2-headed monster and they have a supporting role. We have that right now, but Wieskamp needs to be that second-headed monster.
Like, there might be a game in the Big Ten and NCAA tournaments when you get down to it where, yeah, Luka might get 20 points, but you're going to need Wieskamp to get his. Because what game was it? The Illinois game. We had 0 bench points.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And, like...
And we won.
Yeah, and we won because Garza and Wieskamp both went off. Let's say Garza has a bad game. Yeah, Kriener might throw in 7 points, but you're going to need Wieskamp to get that 20. Like,
And we need Toussaint on the floor, Fran. On the floor. When he comes out, defense goes down. Momentum goes down.
Energy goes down.
Toussaint needs to be on the floor. He cannot sit 12 minutes in the second half, which is what he's been doing.
And, like, yeah, Toussaint gets extremely reckless at times. Mm-hmm. But he's a freshman, and I take that recklessness with the amount of great plays he has.
We knew that was going to be the case. He's
Yes.
going to make mistakes. You learn from it. He's going to get better. His shot's going to get better, hopefully. But you cannot take him out of the game because, although I do think we run the offense well with Frederick.
Look at that.
Right there.
Look at that. Oh, my God.
He got up and down the floor in 3 seconds right there.
Yeah, speaking, we were talking about Toussaint. Toussaint went baseline to baseline.
And he wants to be on the floor in big moments. There's guys who don't. There's guys who are scared to be there. Toussaint wants the ball. He wants to take the...
And you speak of big moments. C.J. Frederick is every bit of Jordan Bohannon wanting the big moments as Jordan Bohannon was. He wants that moment.
He will be. We got another year with him.
Well, hopefully we have another 3 years
Unless
with
the
him.
XFL comes out with the basketball league, he might go for that.
No, but we have so many good young players who are aggressive and aren't afraid of the moment. And honestly, that's probably what makes us a dangerous team more than any other team in the country.
I honestly think that this is a Sweet 16 Elite 8 type team, and I think
Garza throws down a dunk up by 22 now with 13:37 to go.
I see no reason. Like, this is a this year, yeah, we're not going national championship. Obviously, Iowa's not a national championship basketball team.
They never.
Never has been, even in their best years. But I think that this legit Garza Wieskamp come back. This is a Final Four team potential.
I would like to argue that in
Against it?
in favor of a final championship team. 2015, 2016, when Wisconsin was playing Duke, or 2014, 2015. Wisconsin's two best players were Frank Kaminsky, who were a big guy who could stretch the floor,
Yeah.
and Joe Wieskamp and
mean-
Sam Decker. Are
Yeah.
they extremely comparable as well?
Yeah, they are.
And then you have a guard in Nigel Hayes, right? That was
No,
his
he's
name.
a forward. He was
Well,
there for 9 years.
Nigel Hayes was a baller.
Yeah, I love Nigel Hayes.
Yeah.
But I mean, between Joe Toussaint and Connor McCaffrey, those are 2 point guards that can. I mean, if it comes to March, and we have Wieskamp and Garza playing on top of the game, along with Joe Toussaint and Connor McCaffrey running a mean point. I mean,
Defense has to get a little better.
defense has to get a little better, but there is some extreme comparables between the two.
Danny Myers just got 79th place in Fortnite.
Don't throw my purple controller.
All right, but don't you guys agree with me there?
Oh no, 100%. But also, you gotta look at the years. Like, this is a weak year. Is next year gonna be a weak year too?
Do you remember that Duke team? Justice Winslow, drafted first round NBA.
Okay,
Tyus Jones,
Jahlil
drafted first
Okafor
round.
was a
Was Wendell Carter
force in college basketball
yet.
that season. He just sucked in the NBA.
Well,
he was
I feel
very
like he's got
good
bad
in
attitude or
college.
something.
Yeah, but Jahlil Okafor, Tyus Jones, and Justice Winslow.
They all might be on the same team next year too in the NBA.
Well, we're not talking about that, but
they might be.
but
Are they
they.
actually leaving?
I'm saying it's like a fair statement to
guys
say
build me a
if
buttercup.
Wieskamp and Garza were playing at that level and you had good point guard play at that time, there's a chance we can make it.
To do what?
I have people coming over it.
All right. Well, Danny Myers is abandoning us right now. I
There's
know
a reason he's not on the podcast.
Yeah,
He's the third best
but
Myers brother.
it just
Oh, Evan Anderson has just walked into the room.
yeah. Evan Anderson,
Evan,
how you doing?
would you like to say something for the podcast?
I don't think I have
You
level.
gotta get closer to the mic, Evan.
Oh, we're not
No,
experts
I'm not
by any
gonna-
means.
I'm not gonna.
Trust me, I don't.
But
All right, Evan says hi, everybody.
all right. So
Seems like a good time for sponsorship at.
well, actually, our sponsorships have expired. So if you're
Oh.
looking to get in on the
Well, I have an
podcast, game-
unofficial
oh, actually,
sponsorship.
wait, hold
Grizzly
up. No,
Long
no,
Cut.
no, no. Hold up. We do have something, I guess. So Concrete Concepts out of Farley, Iowa. Good concrete business. They sponsored a ticket giveaway we ran yesterday, and we had JJ. I don't know how to actually pronounce his last name, but
It's JJ.
JJ ended up winning the ticket giveaway and is 2 free tickets to this game. We'll try doing one more of those this year for the men's game, and then it looks like the women's team is going to get a draw to the NCAA tournament and possibly host as well as a top 3 seed. So if they do, we'll do a giveaway for that as well. So we might have a couple of good options here coming up.
Oh,
So,
Joe W for 3.
shout out to Concrete Concepts, Farley, Iowa. If you need a driveway, sidewalk, basketball court, foundation, anything. Brad Coates, Scott Vasky, give him a call up there.
Can we give a shout out to the guy who has one arm and played baseball for Zumgo too?
And Placid.
And Placid. That guy was amazing. One-armed baseball player. I watched him hit a double and turn a double play.
All right.
Joe W for 3 again.
All right. The route
What's
is
he got,
on.
25?
I was up 66-38 right now.
It's the reverse Purdue.
12:35 left in the game.
27.
So
points.
let's talk about this quick.
He's going for a career high.
Is the Fran fade happening?
No, we're up by 28.
Not this season, no.
Can I share
Why?
Can I share my insider info from alumni basketball player?
Yes.
So I have a direct report from a former Iowa basketball player who now works for a business in Iowa City.
BJ Armstrong.
He's my agent. Who said Fran is notorious for, you want the conditioning, you want the guys to be mentally tough, and he'll just wear you down in February and March in practice when a lot of other teams are kind of like laying off. And he said he thinks that really is something this year to watch for, because when you only have really 8 contributors, if you're going too hard in practice and you're wearing down, weeks where you have 3 games in a week and Big Ten tournaments and stuff can be kind of tough. So we'll see what Fran how he adjusts practice.
That is pretty good insider info.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I'm not going to share the guy's name.
It wasn't B.J. Armstrong. We're lying.
Yeah, it was not BJ.
Mainly because Fran did not.
It was
coach
Kyle
B.J. Armstrong.
Denning, grad assistant with the Hawks. No, it wasn't that either. So you really don't think that's the case? Because
No.
let me run down the schedule before you say anything. At Indiana, at Minnesota, home Ohio State, at number 16 Michigan State, home number 22 Penn State, home Purdue, and at Illinois. There is, okay, I looked at their final 11 games like a week and a half ago, and I said, the Nebraska game is really the only game Iowa should win.
I think that we should win any remaining home game that we have.
Yeah.
We've stated enough that in the Big Ten, the home team wins. So we should win. We should be favorites in all of the remaining home games.
I don't know what the exact numbers are, but I think Big Ten road teams are winning at maybe a 20% clip this season.
So you're saying we
That's
beat...
generous.
Which is slightly above Iowa State, who is 0-4 on the road.
So you're saying we beat Ohio State, a ranked Penn State, and Purdue?
Yes. All at home, yes.
Purdue's a given. We're going to beat Purdue.
Okay, so what about...
Also, Ohio State is not that great, and if we're playing them without DJ Carton, which it does not seem
He'll
like
be a
he's going to
Hawkeye
play
next
the rest
year,
of the
I'm calling it.
season, he says that he doesn't want to leave Ohio State.
No,
he's just taking
he'll be
some
in
time
Iowa City
off.
next year.
Either way, without DJ Carton at home,
you'd be
I do
surprised
not
that you
think
can get
that
a waiver
I
for
do
it.
not think that we lose to Ohio State.
Just for you who don't know, DJ Carton was the top-rated point guard out of Iowa.
Five-star
last year.
recruit.
5-star point guard out of Bettendorf. Okay, how about the away games? Because if Iowa goes 3-3 over the final 6, there's going to be fans that say, "Oh, the Fran February fade is real."
They might.
We have at Indiana, at Minnesota, Michigan State, and at Illinois.
So
Is that
I think
St. Joseph's necklace?
I think
on here?
at Indiana and at Minnesota are both winnable games. I know that
St.
they're
Luke's
both
it.
very difficult environments,
Joseph-
but
how'd you
it's
say
in
that?
terms of what the teams
should've
are
ran
this
one.
year compared to Iowa, those are the two winnable games. I do not expect us to win at Michigan State. They're a very good team, very tough road
I
environment.
disagree. I think
Um,
Michigan State is not that good. I really don't. I think we can beat Michigan State.
I know.
I think the best team in the Big Ten, kill me, Penn State. I think Penn State is the most top-to-bottom team in the Big Ten.
I don't know.
You're a fucking psycho.
I think at Illinois.
I really think they are the best. They have guards, they have bigs, they're athletic. I think Penn State is the
I know.
best Big Ten team because they have guys who have been there for years and years and years.
I think that at
Literally, someone's
Illinois,
been there for
so
9 years.
Iowa at Illinois is the
Can't
very
graduate.
last game of the Big Ten regular season, and that game is probably at a minimum going to decide a double bye in the Big Ten tournament, potentially who gets first place in the Big Ten. That game is going to be wild.
So, the Big Ten's a big cluster.
Clusterfuck.
I'll say it. Yeah, clusterfuck.
I'll say it. You don't
Okay.
have to. I'll say
So,
it.
so you guys were super critical before when I said we're gonna get a first round bye. Do you?
Oh,
No.
I'm not critical.
No.
I'm just saying don't jinx us.
I'm not critical about saying that we're going to get a first
Look at
round
that.
bye. I think that we'll get a first round bye.
23-1.
I am past that
Point.
jinx stage.
Also, look at
It
that.
was
We're,
amazing.
we're looking at a stat right now for Iowa basketball, and the women's team has a 33-game home winning streak, which is incredible. It's the second longest in NCAA currently.
All right, hold up. Wheezy just got an and one here. We're at 68 points. This is a big free throw right here. 68-40 is the score. 11:55 to go. Wheezy
Going
for the
30.
chance at 69.
Going for 30.
The and one is good. 69 points, Iowa.
Nice.
Iowa's winning the championship this year, baby.
Let's not score
69-40.
for the rest of the game.
11:40 to go.
Great score. Don't even score again the rest of the game.
Just play solid defense.
Also, some insight here. My grandpa Johnny just texted me, kick ass. Izzo beat again today. So that's Grandpa Johnny's 2 thoughts on this afternoon of basketball. But so I don't think the Fran February fade is real either. I think last year,
Actually, last year they had a pretty good record in February.
if we would have lost to Northwestern, it wouldn't have been that good.
So
But
I've looked at it some, and I think the reason that the February fade for Fran is a perception is because it's happened in the 3 years that Iowa has had their best 3 teams under Fran McCaffrey. So the Jared Uthoff season, when we got up to number 3 nationally, we we kind of shit the bed. And basically, the best 3 seasons under Fran is when we've had our hugest late season collapses. Yeah, I made up a word. Maybe Garza for 3. Let's go. So that's why it's perception, because our best teams have had the fade, even though it's really only happened 3 times. But it kind of just sinks in, because whenever when it looks like we're gonna have our best season, we've collapsed at the end. When in reality, it's every season that's not the case. It just happens to be that in our most promising years that has happened. I think this year is different than all of those other seasons. We seem to have a little bit more toughness, a little bit more grit. I just don't see that happening this season.
I agree. What do you think the big difference is in the team this year?
Toughness.
Toughness. It's also like, I don't know.
Actually, good players.
Also,
CJ
this team has had to play together like as a full unit basically since they were freshmen. I mean,
no, it's minutes per game.
Hold on.
They're not working at 12-man rotation.
Who is
Frank.
Blondie that's always sitting next to Frank Garza? Is that Luca's girlfriend?
No, I think Frank may have recently got divorced. And that's
Okay,
Luca's
that
new
woman
hot
is
stepmom.
Nowhere in Frank's age bracket.
But Luca's mom has not been at games lately, and she's been there, so it's either Luca's girlfriend or Luca's new hot stepmom.
All right,
way,
hold up.
good
Nebraska
for-
player down. Moment of silence.
okay,
That's
good.
all.
For
All right,
either-
thank you.
Good for either Frank or Luca, whomever
Yeah.
is.
Is that yours or mine?
That's you.
No, but Fred Hoiberg is something to be feared coming up here in the coming years, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, he was an NBA coach.
Their new arena is actually pretty cool.
They have a lot of stuff working in their favor where in the coming years they could be a relatively good basketball team.
You know, the key to defeating that is you got to get. Damn it.
You got to get what?
You got to get Keith Duncan playing on the basketball team, and then he'll be banging Fred's wife, just like he banged Frost's wife.
All right, so just a quick score update. Iowa leads 74-23.
That looks like.
And
boy.
Garza has 22 points and 7 rebounds. And somehow I've missed that Wieskamp has 30.
Wieskamp has 30?
Yeah, Wieskamp has 30.
I'm pretty
Get
sure
him out
that's
of the
his
game
highest
now.
scoring
Get him out
game
of
of
the
his
game.
career.
Get him out of the...
No, it
No
definitely
injuries.
is.
And are you guys a little alarmed here that we only have 2 bench points again today?
No.
No, because that's expected. Everybody on our bench is hurt.
Everyone-
Our best bench guy is Cordell.
Oh yeah, our bench. No, it's Kriener.
Yes, it is.
Kriener is our best bench
Kriener,
guy.
Yeah.
But you guys aren't
I
worried
don't
about
count-
that at all?
That's what.
When you get in
there's
foul
nothing to
trouble,
worry about.
yeah, but Kriener can take over when he needs to.
You can worry about it, but there's no
Evelyn-
point in worrying about it because that's how it's going to be.
Yeah, Evelyn's not a scorer.
Evelyn.
No.
All right, so
Um,
big stretch here. You got something to say, Stin?
I was just gonna say, I think we've kind of talked about all that we can on basketball, and I think it might be time to move over to the
Good time for
wrestling.
a sponsor commercial.
Nah, no more sponsors like I said.
Well, I
No,
have a
but-
sponsor. Our unofficial sponsor, Bang Energy Drink.
And Bush Light.
Get some.
Yeah! No, but Austin's right. We got to move to wrestling here.
I'm out.
All right,
Yeah.
we got to call timeout on our game of cards.
Okay, so last Friday, Iowa wrestled Penn State. And probably the biggest wrestling meet we've had in
No, the nation has had
Yeah.
ever.
For the sport of wrestling since the television rankings.
They drew
stuff?
the biggest ratings that the Big Ten Network has ever had for wrestling.
That was huge.
It was, yeah. Especially because Penn State has basically dominated college wrestling for the past decade, and Iowa, who has dominated wrestling like outside of the past decade for like the last 30 years, is finally back up on the rise towards the very tippy top. It was a huge meet, especially because Iowa had been ranked number 1 essentially all season. Penn State was number 2. It was a huge
Austin
clash.
Ash coming in with 9 minutes left, baby.
It was a huge clash of the 2 best programs in the country coming together, and it absolutely did not disappoint. From start to finish, there were matches that they featured 1s and 2s, or at least top 10 wrestlers, mostly throughout the entire meet, and there were fireworks throughout, crazy matches, and the duel absolutely did not disappoint.
Okay, so was there a point where you're like, oh my god, we're going to lose to Penn State again?
When Assad went down, I kind of worried. And also the DeSanto swing.
Yeah,
I had DeSanto losing, like on my card, but not by 6.
Yeah, I got nervous when Spencer Lee, who is probably pound for pound the best wrestler in the country
Ever. All time.
like without a doubt.
Besides Dan Gable, all time.
After he wins by tech fall, then immediately in the DeSanto match, we lose a team point for losing mat control, and then we go medical forfeit, so they get 6 points, and then we lose the next match, and all of a sudden it's 11-4. Like that was probably the best possible start that Penn State could have hoped for, because they did not want to start the meet at 125. Iowa did, and we won it on a coin toss. So at that point, I got a little bit nervous because we started in a big hole, and then once we got to the middleweights, 165 and 174,
Those are toss-ups.
it was both. They were toss-ups, but Penn State was ranked number 1 in both. We were ranked number 2 in the both of them. And then when we started out with the Marinelli loss, which was his first loss ever in Carver, at that point I got pretty nervous. But then Kemmer came in, and it was the best match of his entire wrestling career.
Yeah, those two, Kemmer had never he never wrestled at that weight against that guy. And honestly, in the first 30 seconds, I thought he was gonna lose. If he would have lost, I mean, that's it.
No,
That
it
was
was
it.
trouble.
If
It
he
was
did
real
not-
trouble.
I mean, but he's a bull.
Yeah.
I know they call Marinelli
For
a bull, but he was a bull in that match, and he buckled down and he stuck to his technique, and he was a stud in that match.
Yeah,
that was
great.
a
So
huge
for-
win.
hold up.
That's a huge win.
So, for you don't know, Mike Hall was ranked number 1 in the country at his weight class.
Mike Hawk.
Hall.
No, Mike Hall. And Kemmerer took him down wrestling outside of his weight class. Okay, you can continue.
Oh, but I mean, that's a match that, I mean, it's not getting enough credentials because that was a huge match for him. They'd never wrestled 2 different styles. Hall honestly could wrestle down 1 weight, maybe 2 weights. He's a quicker, lighter. You don't get a lot of 174s that are fast like that, and he is a stud wrestler. I mean, he's a future Olympian, and for Kemmer to bump up and take him down like that was a huge.
Yeah.
And that swung the match.
It did.
Now, if Assad would have came back and won, I mean, that would have been it would have been over. But my 2 favorite wrestlers besides Lee are Warner and Cassiope at 197 and heavyweight. And those 2 guys, that was the only thing is when you looked at the points coming down, it was like, hey, all they got to do is win and we still win.
Yeah.
And that helped a lot because they are studs. Warner is a sociopath, and I think he would appreciate us saying that. He really is if you watch him. And Cassiope's just a stud.
But,
And
like,
the guy's gonna win multiple national
Cassiope
championships.
is incredible, and he's
Yeah,
a
good
freshman.
footwork. Good footwork. My one thing from that match that I'm pissed about is I know DeSanto. There's a lot of gripe. He was faking injuries and this and that. But if you've never been hurt in your life, and which he hasn't, he's never had even a minor injury. Yeah, he got put in a cradle and he got hurt. But if you've never been hurt in your life and you feel your knee do something, you instantly are going to freak out. And he did. And he panicked and he was crying. I felt for him. He was begging Brands to let him quit, and he wouldn't let him. But if you've never had an injury before in your life, that really, really is a scary thing with your knees.
Also, for like anybody out there that said that he quit and like he just gave up because he was gonna get pinned.
6 points is bad.
I was gonna say him quitting on the match for like a medical forfeit was the exact same thing as him taking a pin. We gave up 6 points because of that. So it's not like he gave up and like it was only like just a regular decision, 3 points. It was still 6, whether he got pinned or whether it was a medical forfeit. It was the same amount of points for Penn State.
And Bravo's a really good wrestler at 133.
And, like, fair comparison for that, super jokingly saying here, a couple of years ago at St. Ambrose, I was playing pickup basketball in the gym, and I planted my leg, and I thought I blew out my ACL. Considering I've never played competitive basketball in my life, and I thought I blew out my ACL, it was a horrifying feeling. So, joke all you want right here, that's a...
When you feel something in your knee, it's not a joking matter. Like, it is a very terrifying thing.
What's the score?
Baylor, updating news.
We're updating news, breaking.
This is brought to you by
news.
Kodiak Chew.
How much time's left? 9 minutes left in the Baylor game, and they're trailing Oklahoma by 2. So
no win. Yeah,
Well,
Oklahoma sucks.
Well,
anyways, no, the knee injury thing is not a fluke, and I totally understand that panic. Like, you feel pop, you hear,
it's different.
Everyone's been there. I've been, you could just be at the gym.
For 3, Austin Ash for 3.
Oh, baby.
Oh, get him on the court more. You could be at the gym just lifting weights, and if you feel something in your knee, you instantly, it's a panic.
It is.
I'm glad it sounds like he's going to be back, which helps. He's 10 to 18 points in the NCAA tournament. So that's a big factor in us getting back on top there.
I don't care if DeSanto doesn't rest. Honestly,
Shoot, 71% second half.
I think that DeSanto should not wrestle.
Pop it.
For the
Austin Ash, baby!
30-footer!
Let's go, Austin Ash, 2 for 2, baby.
Oh,
But-
McCaffrey just creamed in his pants.
Honestly, I think that DeSanto should not wrestle again until the Big Ten tournament because there's nothing to prove left in the regular season, and we need him to be 100% healthy for the Big Ten tournament and the NCAA.
That's an interesting thing because there's a lot of different strategies there. Corey Clark was hurt, and they forced him back in for the Big Tens with he had a shoulder and a wrist injury, and he ended up running the table. There's also
he lost in the Big Tens in the championship in the last
but he won
3 seconds to Thomas.
But he won the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
And then Derek St. John had a year like that where they got him to the semis. He got back. He got his footing down. He figured out the big thing with Brands is if you're hurt, you're still wrestling, but you gotta adjust your technique. You gotta be able to wrestle with your injury. That's his big thing. In St. John, they got him to the semis of the Big Ten. They felt like he had his footing back, and they pulled him. We're gonna lose the Big Ten. It's okay. Get him back, and he won. I think he lost in the finals that year in the NCAAs. Wrestling's a little different. DeSanto's never had that. I think that let him go the next couple meets, make sure he's comfortable in the wrestling room, and then you got to get him back in full time. I don't think he's the guy that you sit going forward because this is huge for recruiting. This is huge for legacy. Riley Till, what's the miss? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think DeSanto. I don't think you sit him the rest of the way.
For me, the thing is, this is Iowa's first realistic chance. We should win the NCAAs. We're clearly the front runner for the first time in a decade.
Olympic year, so thank you.
Yeah, sure. But
helps.
we're clearly the front runners for the first time in a long time, and I'd much rather have it. We have our best lineup healthy going into the NCAAs instead of having one of our title contenders kind of limping into there. I would prefer that he sits out and gets all the health that he needs and then comes in and can dominate, or at least give us, at least make it to an All-American status as opposed to not being completely healthy and then getting beat out in the first or second round.
Oh yeah, but just from one of her, I don't think the injury's as bad as we thought.
No, you're right. The way that he reacted made it look like maybe he tore his ACL
and
or something
back
like
to
that.
If you've never had a knee injury, I know guys who are just they've dealt with it their whole life. They've torn the ACL and they didn't know. There's a guy from maybe Cornell a few years ago who won a title like that. But there's guys who've never had that. Yeah, dude.
There's the Bohannons right there. I don't know if you saw it on the sideline.
Yeah.
They're still there.
Gordy and what's his wife's name?
I don't know.
know.
Anyways, wrestling's gonna be very interesting going forward. They should have no problems the rest of the Big Ten season, but how do you sacrifice a Big Ten title for getting guys ready?
Yes.
My biggest gripe has been that, excuse me, conditioning-wise, I'm not very happy with, besides Lee and DeSanto and Cassiope, their conditioning has been shit, to be honest. I mean, guys, if they get to the third period, they're worn down. And if you lose a first-round match, and to make podium, you got to win out. And you can't have that shit going on if you're going to win a title.
To me, the more concerning thing that I've seen is, outside of DeSanto and Lee, we're not putting up bonus points in matches that we can score bonus points.
Oh, and Pat Lugo,
and when
nuts.
you get to the Big Tens in the NCAAs, bonus points, those are what separate the third place from the first place team. Is getting bonus points in matches that you can. And we just haven't really done that consistently this year, and that's what we need to get back to. So, we're undefeated on the season. We've beat we
Ohio
beat Penn State,
Nebraska, Wisconsin, Penn State.
We've beat the best of the best so far this year. But there's
one
matches where we can score bonus points and we haven't, and that's what we need to do on a more consistent basis if we want to be the dominant Iowa wrestling that we have been in the past.
About time. Yeah, that 141 to that 157 157. So Young, Lugo, and Mirren, those have been the guys who they're beating who they should beat. They're not beating who they shouldn't. Those guys are going to be the big difference. And I'll say right now, I hope he listens. I know he doesn't though. But Pat Lugo, if you win a fucking national championship, I will shave my ass hair and glue it to my face. because I think he is such an overrated wrestler, and he does not take care of business like he should. Not the way a brand wrestler should at those low weights.
I'm absolutely cropping this and sending it to him now.
Oh no, send it right to him.
I will.
It might get him a fucking national championship, and I'll gladly glue my fucking ass here.
And then we'll get him on the podcast.
That's fine, and he can take me down and beat the shit out of me if it wins the Iowa national championship. I don't care. But I'm saying that 141. So Mir and Lugo and Young have just not produced like they need to. Oh my gosh, their backups are killing them.
I was up 92-58 with 4:15 left in the game.
It's like Purdue, but flipped.
Yep.
But I mean, those are the three weights that are going to make it or break it, honestly. And conditioning in a 2-3 day tournament, those are going to be huge.
Yeah. I mean,
huge factors.
We all expect.
We spent a lot of time wrestling,
Yeah.
more than ever before. So maybe we should move on to
What do we
a little
have to
baseball
move on
intro.
to? I mean, I don't know a whole lot about baseball.
Oh, I do.
Well, you
Do you
can take
really?
it away, Space Cowboy.
Yeah. Actually, I work with a parent of Iowa's Friday night starter this year.
All right. Well, here's what I'll say about baseball. Rick Heller is a great coach.
I love Heller.
Heller is a great coach. He's kind of turned around the program here, kind of like what Lisa Bluter did with the women's basketball team.
Love Lisa
And we've
too.
been super competitive over the last 5 years or whatever, and I expect the same this year.
Yeah, getting good recruits. I mean, they're keeping guys in state. Pitching staff is stocked this year, which is huge. They've had a lot of injuries in the past, which is tough. I mean, college arms, you can't really predict that kind of stuff. But the draft bug has really hit the baseball team recently. I mean, they've had guys get drafted who have another year.
That's a good thing.
But when you're a junior, you have that bargaining. And when you're a senior, you don't. So that's why a lot of pitchers don't make it to their senior year. And I don't know. I just feel like this is going to be a team that's different. They don't have as much offenses in the past. But that's Heller ball. I mean, Heller ball is
Small ball.
Get on base, be able to lay down a bunt, if you get a run across every inning, I mean, that's what wins the game.
Like, I'm a Minnesota Twins fan. They hit 307 home runs last year. Great.
The
I
opposite of Heller
still
ball.
love small ball. I still love
You got to
getting a guy
That's
on
baseball.
first base and then moving him to third base somehow.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I will live and die by that style of
He is a
baseball.
phenomenal coach. He's a phenomenal man. I hope that they give him a lifetime contract because he should have been here a long time ago. If you and I's program wouldn't have shut down, you and I had a great baseball program, and he kind of got screwed out of it. And Indiana State had a good team when he was there. He's just a natural winner. He's a coach's guy. And in Iowa, it's hard to get recruits because you're going to be playing in the snow a few times.
You'll go down to Florida.
But they go down
Texas
to, down to Florida twice in the first 3 weeks, I think. 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But they have a really strong pitching staff. They've got a lot of veteran guys, but they have some young guys who get to see what they're all about. He just does a really good job of developing players. And, I mean, even guys who came out, so I'm from Des Moines, but guys who came out of Des Moines who were above average high school players, they get to Iowa, they get in the program, and, their junior year, they're contributing and they're, hitting 270, 280, on base percentage is high. That's what they do. I mean, Heller's a great coach. And you do have the advantage of being the only baseball school in the state, D1. But, I'm excited for baseball, too.
Well, and we were talking about it earlier. And
Are we going up to Minnesota?
I would go up to Minnesota.
Let's go up to Minnesota. Let's see 'em.
There's a big game. Well, if you're serious, I'm serious.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. I will absolutely go up there because I'm assuming they'd play in
The old
U.S. Bank Stadium, the new
yeah.
Viking Stadium
Yeah.
up there where Minnesota plays. But no, that would be a great time, and I plan on going to a game here. I've never been to Dwayne Banks Field, but I mean it's a good product they're putting out. It's not anything to look down upon or anything like that. So I'm looking forward to the season. And
Iowa athletics, I think in my lifetime, this is the highest we've been top to bottom. I mean, women's basketball is amazing. Men's basketball is playing great. Football is amazing.
Before this,
baseball,
it was
wrestling. I mean, this is the great time to be a Hawkeye.
It is. Before this, it was like Utah's senior year. I think we went undefeated in football, made the NCAA tournament men's basketball. I think
Baseball is just coming.
The baseball team made it to the NCAA tournament
regional.
that year and
No,
lost to
the
Mississippi
regionals,
State.
yeah.
Well, not Omaha, but they made it to the regional round.
Super regionals.
So, hey, a lot of stuff working in our favor right here. Any final thoughts, fellas, before we wrap up?
Caitlin Clark is going to break every single record at Iowa. I'm talking rebounds, steals, points, assists, everything. Jake, get up and get your own beer.
Yeah, you're right. Just a heads up here. Iowa's leading 92-60 with 3:13 left. We got Austin Ash. What's his name?
Nico Hobbs.
What?
Nico Hobbs.
Nico Hobbs.
AKA
And Michael
Luke
Bear.
Garza's foot rubber.
Michael Bear leading the nation in field goal percentage into the game as well. My guy, Mr.
Didn't
Michael
he just
Bear.
shoot a 3 and miss?
Oh, did he? That's tough
He
news
might
for him.
have. I think
Shooting
he did.
50%
The
on the
best
season.
part about this is we put our subs in with 9 minutes left.
Oh,
Purdue had
come on, Nico.
hit it.
He's not great.
Purdue left their starters in until there was like 3 minutes left, 4 minutes left.
Yeah. So a good win here, 17-7 on the season. Who did I say we got next? At Minnesota, at Indiana, and then Ohio State, Michigan State.
Yeah, we don't play again until next Sunday, do we?
Shut up. Do we
That's a
really?
long
I think
time.
Minnesota's a Sunday afternoon game. Do we have one during the week?
Let me check.
This
I
week?
feel like
Hold
we
on.
have to.
I know Minnesota's a Sunday afternoon because I was going to go up there and I'm not.
Oh, you caught it. Never mind.
No, but Iowa's improving on their. I mean, this isn't a resume boosting win by any means, but it's another win.
Is
and you're
Ash
not-
about to get his,
Honestly,
like,
if we get to
9 points?
18 wins, I think we make the NCAA tournament, whether we lose out or
And I
not.
do want to
every
point out
game.
there was only one person from the podcast who had Iowa at that many wins, and that is your one and only Joey Myers.
I had him at 18. Don't knock me
You had
down.
him at 18?
I had him.
him at
I
18.
pushed at 19 for their win total.
I personally put $50 on Iowa having under 9.5 Big Ten wins. I am happy to eat that $50. You're welcome. I did that for you guys.
So at Indiana Thursday, and then next Sunday at Minnesota.
So 2 road games.
So
We
2
gotta
road
get one-
games
one
and
of
then
those
home
two. We
Ohio
gotta get
State.
one of those two.
Get one of those two. Both of them
Minnesota
are pretty
doesn't
good
scare me.
wins.
Indiana's a tricky.
They have like 17 wins. It's not tricky. It's
No,
a tough one.
I mean, they don't have like a stud, but there was we can't seem to beat Indiana ever.
like Purdue.
Yeah, they are that whole state.
Talking about Indiana, do you guys remember that game that when we were playing at Indiana?
Can we kill
and-
off that whole state? Notre
And,
Dame,
and
Indiana?
Victor Oladipo was still playing for him, and he hit that 360 dunk in the
Yeah.
game against us.
I
That
don't-
was
I
demoralizing.
don't care.
I castrated myself right after that.
All right. Well, guys, any final thoughts?
One final sponsor. This
No
one's
final sponsors. They're not paying anything. This is
Big
not
Grove Brewery.
Bush
No.
Light.
All right. Thanks.
Drink it up.
Thanks for listening, Iowa Hawkeye fans, to another episode of the Hawkeye Tailgate Report. You can subscribe to the show on iTunes and Podbean. Just search us there, or you can follow us all on Twitter. It's at @go_Hawks is the show's Twitter page. My Twitter page, Luke Myers, is Myers_Luke. Joey's is JoeMama2196. Austin's is Myers Austin, and
Mine is NUN Business. Nunya.
well, it's MavHawk14, I think, if you're
F14.
actually winning.
F14.
F-
As in Tom Cruise. from
MavHawk
Top Gun.
F14. Well, thanks for
Don't be a
listening,
goose.
guys, and always go Hawks.